Hey guys!
Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ropafadzo Dambire and I'm a Zimbabwean YouTuber, and yeah, this is my channel. So if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel, and if you're a new subscriber, welcome to the family. Today is a very special day as Transformation Tuesdays, where we talk about, if you've been following what has been happening, it's where we talk about, we share the word, we share testimonies. So basically we want to feed the soul in as much as we feed everything else. Like, I'm here to entertain, I'm here to talk about boys, etc, money,
balance, baby.
You know. But yeah, we have to create a balance at the end of the day. So with me today, I have a very special person. She's very pretty. She's a beautiful young lady, talented young lady, and she's my sister. She's also a friend. So forgive me if my demeanor is a bit off, if it's like, she's correct. But her name is Thembekile Ncube. I hope I got it correct.
You almost did.
Honestly, but yeah. Guys, what are we talking about today? We're going to be talking about serenity and finding purpose. And as I said in the introduction, I'll have my little sister here just, sharing on a few things. And if I feel the need, I might just, hop in. But no, don't worry, it's going to be a nice discussion between us. Yeah. So yeah, little sis.
Alright, so Ropa gave me 4 topics to talk about, and
choose from, rather.
Yes, to choose from. Sorry, to choose from. And I decided to. She was. You're like, it's fine. You can choose from these 4, or decide to take anything. So I decided to choose from the 4 because she had mentioned that it was all of the topics were like, something that had to do with how God was speaking to you about those topics. So I thought that I should choose from those. So I chose finding your purpose. Right. So I would like to just title it as Serenity in Finding Purpose. Okay. So serenity is when you the meaning of serenity is when you are in calmness. Right. You are calm. You have peace. You are at ease in your heart. And this means even when there are ups and downs in your life. So basically, serenity in finding purpose is basically us talking about how we are finding peace and we're finding comfort, and we are at par with the ups and downs that are going on in our lives, but still fulfilling our purpose.
Okay.
So yes, I decided to give the topic serenity in finding purpose because sometimes it's easy to be told how to find purpose. It's easy to be told you have to find your purpose or when to find your purpose, and it's easy to be given the guidelines and whatnot. But we barely get the comfort and the encouragement to be told there will be ups and downs in finding your purpose. So do you have that peace and that calmness as you're finding a purpose?
I think maybe to just take you back a bit. I think someone might be asking, like, what's the importance of finding purpose? Like, is it really important? I don't know. Also, if you're watching this, just feel free to share in the comment section and just tell us why it's important for one to find purpose. I think for me, I feel like if a person does not have a sense of purpose, or if they don't know what is my purpose in life, you will live a very meaningless life because you will go wherever the wind takes you. Like, you're just there. And sometimes it's not even about just going wherever the wind is going, but because you don't know why you are here, you don't know what you have to be doing. Life is just, it's meaningless. Exactly. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I hope you catch my drift. I don't know. what is for you? Why do you think that it's important for one person to find purpose?
It's important to find purpose because, for example, if we're to look at a tool, right? If the tool doesn't know the purpose or why it was made, it can be used in a different way or misused rather.
Definitely.
And therefore, if it's misused, that means that it's going to be damaged.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be prized even with a higher mark, or its value is going to be degraded, right? So it's the same way with us. If we don't know why we should look at our purpose, therefore why are we living, like you said, our lives will become meaningless. So yeah, I really feel like it's important, because therefore you're living with the meaning, with the significance. Unity in finding purpose also has an aspect of trusting in God. So I'd like us to look at the verse. I'm just looking at my phone, which has the verse. Trust in the Lord it comes from Proverbs 3, verse 5 to 6. And it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will straighten your paths. So when it comes to fulfilling purpose, right? Connecting it with our topic, right? Finding calmness in as you find your purpose. So I'd like to give an example. This morning as I was mopping the house, I realized that people were indoors and I had the house to myself. Therefore I was like, this is the time to actually start mopping, because people won't be moving up and down, you know how
creating a mess.
So and then I thought about how when someone jumps out or when someone wants to pass, they start tiptoeing, acting as if they're not messing the place up, you know.
As if tiptoeing is not going to do anything, that it's not going to,
mess up the place. Precisely. So, so I this reminded me of how in our lives, God is in the business of mopping our lives. He's in the business of making it clean, removing this mess, purifying it, removing this mess out of our lives. And therefore, us as Christians, we try to come to him, right? With we have certain things that we do that God is not approving, right? And we know that God is not approving these things, but we still go and we tiptoe. Right, we still go and we'll be like, no, it's just tiptoeing, as if it's not going to. I'm not making a mess, but we're actually making a mess, you know. So it drew me back to the verse which says, "Trust in the Lord," right? With all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, because according to our understanding, we are thinking that no, yes, God most probably is saying that just wait, let it dry up. Let where I'm mopping dry up.
Sorry to disturb, but I'm actually getting another revelation about this mopping. What idiom story? I don't know the word that he used.
It's an analogy.
And the mopping analogy that he used. And since our topic is really talking about serendipity in terms of and finding your purpose, today your purpose in the morning or at that point was to make sure that you cleaned the house. And the moment that it was right, when you felt like this is the time that I should clean the house, was that moment when everyone was in their bedrooms, because there was a moment of silence. Number one, maybe sometimes you feel like when I need to do this, I need to be by myself. Number two, because people are not going to be there making a mess. And I was just thinking about how sometimes when you're finding your purpose, I think it's important to have a moment of silence there. Because a moment to just sit down, reflect, and to think, which is something that we don't often do. Like, I know some people do it, but I feel like in my life, I don't have that time where I sit down and I think, or to just find a moment of quietness and peace. Because even when you are at that point, if people were making a mess, if people were walking around, you wouldn't have been able to get the house clean.
Exactly.
So sometimes, for some people, I think it's necessary to actually have that moment where you sit down or where you identify a moment or a suitable time that you actually you block out all the noises, all the distractions, so that you'll be able to think, reflect, pray about it. Since even when we're talking, she talked about how we get our purpose from God. So if there's all this noise around you, then which voice are you actually listening to? You get?
Exactly.
Because there are a lot of voices which are speaking into your life right now. It could be the voice of friends, family, relatives, and the world, the music that you listen to, the movies that you watch. So how exactly are you going to, which voice are you going to listen to, and which voice is going to tell you that, Ropa, this is your purpose, if you're not going to give yourself time and just be silent?
That is so true. That is so true. Because sometimes, it's not sometimes, every time God, when he wants to give you his treasures, or when he wants to tell you something of importance, it's best if he's whispering it to you in silence, in without any distractions. So I do agree with you. So continuing with the mopping analogy. So basically, I would like to encourage us to not try and shift the purpose that God has for us, because we may be thinking that it's just it's just a small little sin, it's just a small little something, it's not going to mess up that much, but God is he's the one who knows, and like he's saying, let me just read the verse again. It's saying, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. Meaning that whatever understanding that you're having about your purpose, don't lean on that understanding, but lean on God, because he knows what's best. And it says, in all your ways acknowledge him and he will make straight your paths.
Amen.
It's saying acknowledge him because whatever it is that you're doing, right? We may be doing what we're doing, but are we acknowledging God? Are we acknowledging his presence in the way that we are living our lives to fulfilling our purposes? Another thing in trusting God and acknowledging his presence in our lives is that he is all-knowing. And it's very important that you become open to God. Because sometimes, even if we try to tiptoe and act like we're invisible, he sees everything and he knows everything. And if I know there's certain topics that we don't like talking to God, that we don't like talking to God because of certain reasons, and you don't want to have that conversation, But God is the only person that you can actually talk to about those things. Because after all, he's all-knowing. He knows precisely what's in your heart. He knows precisely what you think about it. So if you come to a certain juncture in your life in finding purpose, and you don't as quite agree with what's going on, and you don't as quite agree with certain circumstances in your life, then it would be best to open up yourself to God. Allow him to have a certain to be the mirror in your life. Allow you talk to him, because he knows you. After all, he knows what you're all about. He knows what your thoughts are. So it would be best to open up yourself to him. If you're angry, go to him with that anger. If you're guilty, go to him with that guilt, because he can see it already.
I think one other thing is, as humans, we the fact that we know that God is all-knowing, I think sometimes for us we take it for granted. Like,
precisely.
Okay, so God knows that I'm sad, so I'm not going to talk to him about it. But I think it's pride to a certain extent, because we should be able, having a relationship with God, it's about, and as much as, having a relationship with God is almost like having a relationship with Thembi right here. For any relationship to work, there should be communication. And in terms of communication, I talk and Thembi listens, and Thembi talks and I listen. We are talking. So that's how I'll understand what is Thembi like, what is Thembi going through, And even if I might see that Thembi sad today, but I won't exactly know. And of course, God is all-knowing, but I don't know. I'm just trying to get you, do you see what happens? If I see that you're sad, if I don't probably approach you and be like, Thembi, like, what's up? Why are you sad? I'll probably never know like what's going down.
Exactly.
But so we should get to a point, in as much as God is all knowing, let's remember that in as much as we have those relationships with our friends, God is just like our friend. So we should be vulnerable enough to get to that point where we are able to tell him that, God, I'm so happy about this today. God, I'm so sad. This is what happened today. God, I am sorry. I sinned and I need your help. Be vulnerable. And yeah.
That's true. I like how you say it, in as much as he knows precisely what's going on. He may know, but he wants you to come to him.
Yeah.
He wants you to submit to him. He wants you to say, God, I don't know how to do it. He wants you, because he's the King of Kings, and he won't enforce. He won't enforce.
Yeah.
He's a gentleman. He won't enforce himself on you, but he will want you to come to him. And then he will do everything for you, and he will help you through it. How are we supposed to find the purpose? Okay, so I'm going to read from Philippians 4, verse 4 to 7. Verse 6. It says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So you may be having that anxiety as to how am I supposed to find my purpose? Or God is not speaking to me. How am I supposed to find my purpose? Or whatever kind of anxiety you're having related to finding your purpose and how to find it. The Bible is saying that don't be anxious about that. Submit yourself in prayer. In prayer and in prayer and petition with thanksgiving. So the other version says that in prayer and in submission and thanksgiving, you should submit yourself to God and pray to him. Tell him all of your needs. Tell him, request it unto God. So request the need of wanting to know what your purpose is, and he will show you. He will talk to you. You know, Ropa, God talks to us, even if we feel like I'm not worthy of it. But God has a way of reaching out to you. After all, we're his children. You are his only child. Not his only child, but you are his child.
You are his child.
Well, you're that precious in terms of only, but you are his only child. And he's saying that, make your requests known unto me. And your request is, God, how am I supposed to find my purpose? What is my purpose? Exactly. And God is saying that I will give it unto you. And then some may be asking, am I really living in purpose? Right? Because you may be going through whatever it is that you're going through, and you may be having a certain vision, right? Maybe you know what your purpose is, and you have the picture, you have the vision written down, and you look at your life right now, and you realize this doesn't feel like I'm actually living my purpose. I just want to let you know that if you have been submitting yourself in prayer to God, you are living your life in purpose every day. So that means that even if it does not look like you are in the right journey to fulfilling the purpose or the picture that God gave you, or the end result of your purpose, you are definitely in the right journey. I'd like to give a testimony that Pastor Mike Todd gave. I really like that man. I don't know if you know him. Yes. Okay, so Pastor Mike Todd was like, he was preaching, and he was on the pulpit, and he pointed out to some other guy who was sitting in the congregation, and he was like, can you see where you're sitting? I once was sitting right over there, and as I was sitting down there, God told me that you're going to be preaching on this platform. And for him, he was like, okay, but how? He was like, really? How? And in my mind, I was like, okay, Pastor Michael Todd is most probably saying, but I'm only within people, you know. How am I going to move from this place to that upper platform, you know? But as he was praying and submitting himself in prayer, God did it. You know, nothing held him back to fulfilling that, because he was submitting himself in prayer to God. Because after all, he's the author, you know, he's the author of your life at the end of the day. So he just allowed God to write him. He allowed God to write his life, and he followed whatever it is that God, the steps that God was ordaining for him, because the Bible even says that he will order your steps, so you're not alone. And if you're feeling like, am I really in the right direction? You are. Believe you me, you are. It may not feel like it, but you are. Another thing that I want to touch on is knowing that right now you're living in purpose. So we may have termed it as serenity in finding purpose, but as of now, we're living a life of purpose. Like, for example, what Ropa and I are doing, this is purpose, because we woke up with the knowledge of knowing that his mercies are new for us every morning, and we're like, we submitted our days to God, this day to God, and there's a certain purpose that he had for us today, and we are here. So every single day is a day of fulfilling a purpose. In conclusion to our discussion and our conversation I'm having with Ropa, I just want us to read from Jeremiah 27 verse 11.
For I know.
Yes, precisely. She
knows.
It says that, for I know. I think we should know this, because even God is saying, for I know, you know. So it says, for I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. So you may be having you may be having a certain purpose or a certain destiny, a certain vision, a certain future that you have for your life. Maybe to become I don't know, a doctor, an engineer, whatever it may be, right? And you may be seeing your life at a certain level, right? You may be seeing your life impacting people in a certain way. You may be seeing your life in a certain dimension altogether, from breaking whatever generational kinds of traits that were there in your life, right? And yes, you may just be having a certain picture of your life. Jeremiah says that God knows your thoughts, and he knows the thoughts that he has towards you, right? So meaning that before he formed you, he knew what he was going to make of you. He knew what he was going, like we said, he's the author. He knew your end purpose. He knows what you're doing today. He knows what you're going to be doing in the next 2 months. He knows everything. And the calmness, the serenity in knowing that God says that I know is more than enough. It's more than enough. And he goes on to say, plans that are not of evil, plans that are not there to harm you, but to give you a future and hope. That is just amazing. So you need to like live in purpose. You need to live in purpose, knowing that God has everything planned for you, knowing that God's plans are the ones which are right for you, and knowing that he has you at heart. He has you in his thoughts, like he said, the thoughts that I have for you. So definitely,
yeah. I think are we at the end?
Yes, we are at the end.
I think we've come to the end of this video. It's probably a little bit long, but hopefully you've watched till the very end. And I know that if you watched it till the end, you're definitely going to take more than 2 things from this video, and I know it's going to transform your life. I know this for a fact. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you for giving us time, giving us your time, just watching this, for spreading the word, sharing it with your friends and relatives. And I'd love to thank you, my friend, for joining, my sister and my friend, for being here, for sharing on the wisdom that God has imparted on your life. And I just pray, it is my desire that you continue living according to your purpose, and that you continue to move from glory to glory, and that his blessings and favor may be upon your life. Other than that, thank you guys. Stay tuned. Transformation Tuesdays. It's going to be coming almost every Tuesday. I'll try my best. At least twice every month. I'll just try and make sure that I have something for you guys, something that uplifts the soul. You know what I mean? But yeah,
food for the soul.
Food for the soul, exactly. Other than that, have a great week, and yeah, stay tuned. Bye.
Bye.